Yo, what's poppin', cat daddies? It's Lone Camper. Got another story time video. So last I left off, I was gotten everything fixed in Florida as far as my car battery and RVAC went. This was towards the end of August, back in like 20, yeah, 2022. Yeah. All right, so I'm rocking and rolling now. Got everything fixed. Got that new job, and everything is kind of back to normal. Uh, Working at a place called AquaNautik. Uh, it's a commercial diving company. Dude, it sucks, man. It's owned by a German. He's got like his main company is in Germany, but he has a side one to get his citizenship over in the U.S. And yeah, he sucks, dude. But anyways, yeah, as a commercial diver, making 18 an hour, typically working like 70-hour weeks, and in the water, like 7 hours a day. I mean, if there's a job, sometimes he'll have like smaller jobs that'll take half a day. That's a little bit rare though. And because of that, I wasn't even at my camper most of the time, which really sucked. Because, dude, this was back in like it was hurricane season in Florida, and dude, those hurricanes wrecked my fucking camper, man. There were like pinprick holes I didn't know about, and it just gave me water damage up the ass. But anyways, one of the main jobs I want to talk about one of the jobs we were doing while I was working at AquaNautik, we were working at Port Canaveral, right? The like SpaceX base or whatever. All right. So there is this building that is beside the river, right? It's nothing crazy. It's like a small building, just like 3-4 stories. I think it was like a touristy thing. It wasn't anything important. Anyways, it sat beside a river, and the paneling all over the building needed to be taken off because I can't remember exactly what happened, but there were just holes everywhere on that building, and the paneling was doing nothing to stop the water from getting in. So they too were getting water damage up the ass, and they needed to take off the paneling so they could fill the holes in, and then reinstall the paneling. But because it was beside a river, there was no place for them to put, a secure place to put the scaffolding, right? So what we were there to do was to essentially pour concrete underwater to make a base, and they do have a special type of concrete for that that goes underwater. So that's what we were there to do, was to, one, install that concrete base, and two, install enough scaffolding that it would rest above the water line, so then the rest of the construction workers would take over. Right, so let's see, we get to the site, and we're staying at an Airbnb in Port Canaveral because I think it was a 3-hour drive from Fort Lauderdale to Port Canaveral. So yeah, we were staying there Monday through Saturday, working like, I don't know, 10-hour days, sometimes 12. Anyways, we get there, the first day we get up, set everything up. So, we got the boom crane in place. We brought big, large, like, green metal barges that just kind of float. There's no motor on them, but they can float, as well as some smaller white ones, because this was a weird project where we needed to put the concrete base. I think it was like 60 meters past the shore. So or it wasn't 60 meters. It was probably more like 30 or 40. Yeah, 30 or 40. 40. We'll say 40. Anyways, 40 meters past the shore, and trying to get the boom crane to get as far over there as possible while also setting up all the dredge lines and the dredges. Here, I'll get to that in a minute. Setting all that up. It took 2 days. But we got it all done. It was chaos and a lot of kind of redneck engineering, if you will. But we get it done. And so now we have to get in there and figure out where the base is going to be because, we're underwater. It's a little hard to tell where we're supposed to be pouring in concrete when we don't know where it is underwater. So, got to go in there, find the location, mark it, and then we start setting up buoys. We kind of just set up the parameter of, okay, this is where we're going to be dredging. And when I say dredging, essentially, it's just sucking up mud because where we're pouring in concrete it's underwater and it's not level. So we have to go in there and level everything out underwater, right? So that's what I mean by dredging. We're just sucking up that mud to level it out. And so we kind of build a perimeter around where we're going to be doing that. And that involved a lot of buoys, mainly just kind of so we can see on the surface. So, when over communications, we go, hey, can you just kind of peek your head out of the water just so we can see where you're at? When he peeks out at it, we can say, okay, he's got this much, he went this far today, he's got this much more to go, right? Do all that, which was extremely unnecessary, but, I mean, boss man gets what he wants, you know what I'm saying? Get that done, and then that's when the dredging starts, and dude, we also had a pressure washer with us, and that thing would fuck up every, 5 minutes, man. I am dead fucking serious. It was so annoying. You'd be spraying, trying to chug along, and then all of a sudden it stops working. You're like, hey, topside, it's dead again. Can you fix it? Come back later. Oh, hold up. Give us 5 more minutes. Okay. Then he needs another 5 minutes. And then finally he gets it working. And then we can start working for another 5 minutes just to have it all restart, dude. Oh, that was a nightmare. And on top of all that, we were subcontracted out. The actual contractors who brought us out were just, well, one was nice, but the other was just kind of a dick. We just started calling them Heymans. Because every time we would see them, the first thing they'd say is, hey man, and then tell us something stupid. Don't forget to sign the waiver that you need to wear gloves. Or, don't forget to not trip, stupid shit like that. But it always would start with, hey man. And then they'd joke about trying to move the timeline forward. And how they need different people. They were just fucking dickheads, man. Anyways, let's see. I think it took 2 weeks of dredging to finally get everything level. Dude, oh my god. That was so fucking annoying. And so the next step is to install the frames of where the concrete is going to be poured. So we already pre-made the frames before we ever got to Port Canaveral for the first day. Essentially, it's just a wooden structure that's about as high as the concrete base needs to be. And so we just put it down in there and put sandbags on it so it doesn't float away because it's wood. But it's kind of helped contain all that concrete mix, because even though it's it's liquid and settling, it's still very heavy because it's concrete, and those boards are gonna bulge out, right? So it's kind of imperative that the wooden boards are kept together so the concrete can maintain its shape and therefore structure, right? So that takes an entire day because I think there was 32 frames. Each one was like 4x4, something like that. That's a very rough estimate, but it was something like that. Right. So, and then we bolt them all together. Jesus Christ, it was so fucking long. I think it was, I want to say 20 to 30 feet long. Yeah, it took like 5 people, 4 or 5 people to get that thing installed, dude. And honestly, I messed up because like, uh, how it was going on the surface was there were 2 people on the surface, and they each would be on, let's see, we're both in the middle of the frame, right? And they would be kind of feeding it down to us. My buddy was supposed to take the front end and kind of walk it out while I took kind of in the middle and I walked backward. So they were supporting the middle while I was kind of supporting the end and my buddy was supporting the front. Well, I somehow messed that up and just decided to go forward instead of backwards. So the frame snap broke and my umbilical was also under the frame. So yeah, Boss Man was not too happy with that. But that is just fine, as I didn't like him either, and honestly I kind of redeemed myself a couple days later. But here, I'll tell you guys that next time for our little story time. But thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. TTFN, ta-ta for now.